Librarians are the lore masters and most wise members of a chapter. Gifted with psychic abilities, they are invaluable to the chapters that use them. And of course, like most of the chapter's command, they often field themselves wearing Terminator armor. Hello everybody, my name is Spoons Rattling, and today we are covering the Terminator Librarian. So the Terminator Librarian comes in at, I believe it's 75 points. So for 75 points, you get a pretty standard Terminator character stat line: 5 inches of movement, toughness 5, 5 wounds, a 2+ save, 4+ invulnerable, leadership 6+, and OC1. Totally standard, though pretty tough for only 75 points, in terms of a character at least. And then in terms of ranged weapons, he can take either a combi bolter or combi weapon. The combi weapon's anti-infantry 4+, devastating wounds, and rapid fire 1 at 24-inch range, 1 attack that hits on 4s at strength 4, AP 0, and damage 1. Really not worth taking. And the combi bolter has rapid fire 2, 12 at 24-inch range, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, AP 0, and damage 1. A very solid little burst of anti-infantry fire, especially anti-light infantry. Though his main ranged attack is of course Smite. Smite has an 18-inch range, D6 attacks that hit on 3s at strength 5, AP 1, and damage D3. Very solid. You can overcharge it, it gains hazardous, but it also gains devastating wounds, with D6 attacks that hits on 3s at strength 6 and AP 2, making it far more powerful, though of course having the risk to deal 3 mortal wounds to your character is never good. However, the damage buff is, when it's applicable, will be very good, such as when it transmits 2+1 to wound, or where it will sort of make the difference with the AP if the opponent's staying in cover. In terms of melee weapons, he has his Force Weapon, which is just a psychic weapon with 4 attacks that hit on 3s at strength 6, AP 1, and damage D3. Fairly weak melee as far as a Space Marine character goes. The low AP is not helped by the fact that it has very few attacks. In terms of abilities, he has his Psychic Hood, which gives his unit a 4+ Feel No Pain against psychic attacks. And he also has Veil of Time, which is his psychic ability. While leading a unit, their weapons gain Sustained Hits 1. Now, this, I believe, is changed from the index. I believe it used to only apply to ranged weapons, but now it applies to everything. And this makes him far... Sorry, I'm so sick. Far more general purpose. And Sustained Hits 1 is helpful at both range and in melee, of course. Their anti-infantry anti-infantry range weapons will really appreciate it. And if you're bringing Cyclone missile launchers with normal Terminators, or Deathwing, for example, they would appreciate any 6s they get. And in melee, where they want to be, of course, Sustained Hits is going to be useful, though I would say it's not as powerful for punching up as some of the other abilities are, as we'll cover in a moment. As a last note, never bring the combi weapon, always bring the combi bolter. If you model them with a combi weapon, just run it as a combi bolter. In general, the Terminator Librarian, compared to his compatriots, the Terminator Captain and Terminator Chaplain, trades off their more focused buffs in terms of the +1 to wound and free stratagems for a general buff of sustained hits. Now, the mid-strength of Terminator melee weapons does appreciate the sustained hits quite a lot, and a unit that really appreciates it is Deathwing Knights, as they already naturally wound most things in the game very efficiently. This allows his sustained hits to be at their most useful. However, I'd say detachments specifically, the Captain gets better in, say, Inner Circle Companions, or Inner Circle Task Force, and the Chaplain's buff is more impactful for their mid-strength weapons. But I do think if you just want a take-all-comers buff, it's hard to go wrong with the Librarian. I think he's a fine choice compared to the Chaplain helping them punch up, and while the Librarian doesn't necessarily help them punch up, it helps them punch everything a little bit harder. So that's sort of your want. Do you want them to be better at punching tougher stuff, or better at punching stuff just in general? And then, of course, I think if you're not bringing a Captain, whether your detachment doesn't have any good stratagems to reduce, or if, in general, you have good CP generation and don't need a Captain for whatever reason, I think this guy's a fine alternative, though the Captain is much better, especially with his reroll charges, I'd say being much better than the 4+ Feel No Pain, which also the Chaplain does better, as that Feel No Pain is against all mortal wounds, and this one's only against psychic attacks. Anyways, I think he's a strong unit, but he's not my first choice. Anyways, I've been Spoons Rattling. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.